Good morning, everyone. You know, I keep telling everybody, I keep having things happen to me that I never know what the devil's going to be going on. Whenever I'm with my wife, or something happens, or interesting stories that come out of it. And one of them just dawned on one day. We were shopping in Myrtle Beach, and we're in this big, huge store. And she took off on the cart. She was going somewhere, but this thing was huge. I said, I don't know where she'd gone. Every once in a while, she disappears. So all of a sudden, this woman, probably in her 50s, one of the salespeople wandered over and said, "Can I help you, sir?" I said, "I've lost my wife. I don't know where she is right now." And she looked at me and she said, "If you don't find her," she said, "I'm available." Well, about that time, I started hustling real quick to find my wife. I said, "Don't you dare disappear, because I don't want to end up dealing with this situation." So as it goes, every time we're going somewhere, something happens, or I see somebody that I know's been struggling with a cane, and back when I had a whole bunch of posture canes before they came out, and during, I probably given away way over 100 over the years. So I've seen people occasionally, and I'll stop and I'll say, "Look, I want you to try something." And inevitably, we'll find that probably 90% of the time, it's something they can use. Because when people use canes, it's usually to take pressure off a joint or pre-surgery or whatever. But after that point, when you rehab, usually it changes. You needed to do in a different way. But the funny part of this thing is, every time I gave away a free cane, I ended up getting a free parking space. So one day, my wife were out and I were running errands. She said, "You're not going to find a parking space here at all." I waited for a second. Bang, somebody pulled out right in front of the door, and I pulled right in. So that evening, we're going to a restaurant, and she looked around. There's no place for me to park, and all of a sudden I knew something was going to happen, so I waited, and then I waited. And I went in, and I pulled right into the parking space right in front of the restaurant. So anyway, she looks at me. She said, "You got a parking space earlier." I said, "You gave away a cane, didn't you?" I said, "Yeah." I said, and she said, "We just got another parking space." I said, "I gave away two today."